Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who is realizing that they might have undervalued your connection, that they didn't really want to admit to themselves how much you really mattered to them. But now that they have had to live without you, and now that they have been missing you, I think they're starting to realize that they didn't really treat you the way that you deserved and that they were a little bit too quick to let go of you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find it in the description box along with more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. And you can also find the link to my Etsy shop if you're interested in a homemade soy candle. Beyond that, just remember that if you are looking for a personal reading, I will never hit you up in the comments for that, and I don't use WhatsApp. What's up? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Let's start off with the Pulp Tarot and see what else we have for you. What else do we have? The King of Cups, someone who's in their feelings. And the Queen of Pentacles, thinking about how they had a chance with somebody that was loyal, a good partner, the kind of person that you take home to introduce to the family. But with the Page of Cups in the reverse, this is somebody who is feeling a little bit miserable because they don't have this Queen of Pentacles anymore. Let's keep in mind that the King of Cups does not have to be a man and the Queen of Pentacles does not have to be a woman. These are just energies that I'm reading, not physicality. But we have someone who demonstrated that they were capable of a committed relationship, someone who was doing what they could to be a good partner, right? And this King of Cups feels like they should have acknowledged that, or they should have done what they could to keep that Queen of Pentacles in their life. For some of you, this could be a non-romantic reading, but I do feel like for the majority of you, this would be a person who was hoping to be it's like they weren't really ready to get into a relationship, or they chose not to, or they walked away from the relationship with you, and now looking back they're realizing that was like really dumb. That person was pretty great and I took them for granted. Hello Nedic, how are you doing? Hello Taylor, I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? So this Hierophant is someone realizing what their own requirements or standards or beliefs are, and acknowledging that how they approached this is why they missed out on the romance, why they missed out on the connection with you. So you have someone who's going to be coming back around and they're going to be talking to you about how important you are, even though when you were in their life, they did not show that. So I think we're going to have some apology and someone who tries to basically take ownership over that, right? I should have been more honest with myself about how important you are or the feelings that I had for you, but I wasn't. And I acknowledge that's why I lost you. But is there any chance that I can have another chance? Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? Hello, Matt. Thank you for the first like. What else do we have? High Priestess in the reverse. Seven of Cups in the reverse and the Devil in the reverse. I do think this is someone who's been working on their healing. With the High Priestess in the reverse, they have acknowledged I was overly secretive, or I didn't want to let anybody actually get to know me. But if I want to be with this Queen of Pentacles, I have to be like they were with me. So they view you, assuming you resonate with this Queen of Pentacles, you could also be the King of Cups, of course. But they view you as the paragon of excellence, the role model in integrity and honesty. You weren't holding anything back. You let things, I don't know, you didn't want to sugarcoat anything. So with the devil in the reverse, it's partly because they are inspired by how you treated them, and partly because they realize they can't continue to act the way that they were before. Next time. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? Yes, happy Friday. What else do we have? We have the Emperor in the reverse, Temperance, and the Ace of Wands. They want another chance. I know you're the right person for me. I know I fumbled it before, but I'm making plans and I feel like we could, salvage this. I feel like now that I've worked on myself, now that I am more capable of communicating my emotions, and understanding your value, now I want that chance. Now I want to see where this could go. Okay, well, let's go for Under the Oak. What else do we have, please? Five of Swords, the Emperor in the reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles. So it took your respect for yourself and your steadiness of character to basically hold up a mirror to this person and say, here's what's wrong with you. Not that I'm trying to just do a performance review on you, but it's more so that they saw how they stacked up against your characteristics, your attributes. And they're like, oh, well, it's apparently because I can't actually deal with some of the things that I need to be proactive about, or it's because I felt like, not good enough that I walked away from this relationship. Maybe I need to deal with that. Maybe I need to actually work on myself so that I don't lose this Queen of Pentacles. This is somebody who's no stranger to accountability. They may have been before, but now they're looking at themselves straight in the mirror and saying, here's what I need to work on. This is why I lost this person. And I don't want to lose them because they're one of a kind, because they are, true to themselves. So we have the Tower, a significant change, a shift for this person. They were previously unwilling to look at what they needed to do to change, but because of your presence in their life, and then following that, your absence, now they're willing to be extremely honest with themselves that they blamed other people when it was really them, right? Dang, Randy. It's not the approach that I would take. Judge not, yet you be judged, right? Hello, Neon. How are you doing? Hello, Catherine. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah. What else do we have? We have the World. And the Ace of Wands, clarifying the Ace of Wands. So now that I've been able to address the things that made me perhaps not the best partner or not ready for a relationship with someone like you, now I'm going to travel, or I'm going to make a concerted effort to show you how much you mean to me. They're going to communicate, they're going to apologize, and I think they also want to make sure that there's some demonstration of how important you are to them. They want to make sure that you actually see that this is not the same energy that they approached you with last time. Hello, Ethan. How are you doing today? What else do we have? Ten of Cups in the reverse, Four of Cups in the reverse, and the Three of Pentacles. I do think that whoever this reading is for, presumably you are the Queen of Pentacles, we have this King of Cups acknowledging that part of the reason that they were not capable of being in like a long-term relationship or being emotionally vulnerable was because of things that they had picked up from family members or friends, which could even mean that they acknowledged, if I continue to run in this crew, if I continue to be friends with these people, if I continue to view that relationship as an ideal relationship, then I'm not going to be able to be with somebody like the Queen of Pentacles. They took a deep look at themselves as far as what they needed to work on, but they also looked at the influences around them. Do I have people in my life that make it difficult for me to maintain a healthy relationship with the Queen of Pentacles? And if so, why? And what can be done about that? Do I need to remain in contact with this, best friend who might be a little bit immature? Is there something that can be done to bring that person up to speed as far as their maturity? Or is there, a father, half sister who is a bad influence on the decisions I make regarding my romance? I think this is a pretty comprehensive look at what had made things difficult for them in terms of being with you. So this is not a rush job with their healing. They actually wanted to make sure they looked for the root cause. Knight of Swords and the Chariot in the reverse. Yeah, they did not rush this. This is someone who has a better understanding of who they are and how others influence them. And that's also why I think we have that lesson learned card at the beginning, right? They really have learned their lessons, and it's more than one. It's what have I done to, fumble this, and what external influences might cause that to happen again. Hello, Delinia. How are you doing? Hello, Boo. What's up? Hello, Joe. How are you doing? We've got 5 of Wands in the reverse and the Page of Cups. They feel like there's no one like you. So they're coming back around, and they know that when they make this offer or when they reach out to you, it has to be very clear that they are, a different type right now. They're not the same person that they were before, and that they very much so understand your value, your true value. All right, let's see what else we have. This is the Fairy Lenormand. Hey, Grant, how are you doing today? What else? The Bear, number 15. I feel like this is your energy. I feel like you know that you can't just wait around, because most of the time when somebody fumbles a relationship with you, they don't know how to recover from that, or they don't do that introspection. So I think you have removed yourself from this environment, or you have kept it moving, right? And realized that if this was somebody who was going to be dishonest with you, you didn't want to continue to connect with them. Your perceptive powers are people know about them. I think you have a little bit of a reputation where people are like, oh, I won't mess with that person. Don't lie to that person, they will find out. And there is kind of a sense that you don't look at loss the same way. You acknowledge the importance of acceptance. If things are meant to be in my life, they will be in my life. If people are meant to be in my life, they will be in my life. But I'm not going to sacrifice what I know I deserve just to keep that person around. So other people might think that you're lonely, but I think it's more so that you have an appreciation for a small inner circle. You just want to be around people that you can trust. So we have this lily, which talks about peace. And is it a lily? I think so. But it's missing the black detail for a tiger lily, right? Main point is peace. you protect your peace. You're not interested in dealing with people who are going to lie to you or just, make it seem like everything is fine when they're really carrying a grudge. So I think there's a little bit of an intimidation factor here. There are people who feel like they need to stay away because they can't handle people like you. Hello, CTF. Hello, Skull. How are you doing? Hello, Pearl Jam. What's up? I feel that. Hello, Key Controller. How are you doing? Hello, Steven. That's good, Melissa. I hope you're having a good day. This is the Witch's Tarot. Three of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. They've taken action on what they needed to do in order to become more independent. They're not like a sheep anymore, right? And their change in perspective has resulted in certain friends or family not really being in the inner circle anymore. They understand why you have a smaller inner circle because they have basically implemented that same model for themselves. Four of Swords in the reverse, Judgment in the reverse. You guys, look, they spelled it right in this one. You see that? There's only one E. So we have somebody who acknowledges that they did something the wrong way or that they didn't approach the relationship or the connection with you the right way. They're owning what they did wrong. And when they come through, I think the first thing that they do is apologize or make it clear, like, I hold myself responsible for that. I know it was my fault. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? That's good. I hope you feel that the healing process goes faster than expected. So we have the Two of Wands, the Ten of Swords, and the World in the reverse, which is really the universe in this tarot deck, by the way. So we have someone who's looking at this and realizing, even if I can't salvage this relationship, I'm still going to be in a better place because I'm not going to be acting like one of those, like, the losers that, I'm not friends with anymore. Which is kind of a big thought, right? Even if you don't get a second chance with somebody that you fumbled, working on yourself is still worth it, right? Because you're still going to have a better experience yourself and you're going to have basically leveled up in terms of your relationships. So we have somebody who acknowledges that, yes, I betrayed the connection that I had with you by not appreciating its actual value. But I also made it difficult for myself to be who I want to be by approaching things that way. Hello, Wick. How are you doing? And thank you, Priyanka. How are we doing today? Rahul, current feelings? And his intention. Will you forgive me if I tell you that intention is spelt with two T's, so that S would be a T? It's not me like judging you because I appreciate this is probably not your first language. But I'm also, like, I was raised by someone who would correct me all the time. So just know that it's not because I want to be critical. It's because if I were in your position, I would want someone to tell me. Thank you, Taylor. Yes, I agree, Rachel. Let's see. We've got the Nine of Cups, excuse me. Wish fulfillment. The Six of Swords and the Sun. That's pretty impressive, you guys. Yeah, I think this is somebody who's going to be what you are looking for. Okay, so I guess she's wearing a headband. That's interesting. This is somebody who finally feels like they're coming from a position of strength, like they have an understanding of the two sides of themselves. So if they were not really emotionally available, now they are. If they were previously secretive, now they feel like they can trust and they can also like share more of themselves, right? This is someone who's enlightened and they feel like you're the one who inspired them. They give you credit. Yes, they did the work. Yes, they, signed up to work through their healing, but they feel like you inspired it. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. Hello, Vamshi, how are you doing? Hello, Betty. I hope you're having a good day. And Vamshi, let me know if I said your name wrong. I always get worried that I said it wrong. Hello, Timmy. For this particular reading, Timmy, if this reading resonates for you, it is a romantic or for some of you, perhaps platonic inspiration. I think we have deities that inspire every day, but if this reading is for you, the inspiration was the person that they would like to be in a relationship with. Seven of Wands and the Nine of Swords in the reverse. We have this individual deciding it's the right time to communicate, that they feel like now is as good as any time, or, they feel that confidence. So they're going to talk about what they've worked on, obviously apologize. And I think they're also going to make it clear that they have distance themselves from the people who were bad influences or, maybe didn't really want to support this individual being in a relationship. Six of Wands, King of Pentacles in the reverse, Eight of Pentacles. So the things that caused me instability or an inability to actually connect to somebody in a romantic relationship, now I'm capable of doing that. I have done the work. So let's see what we've got with the OG. This is the Rider-Waite. What else do we have? Ace of Wands and the Tower in the reverse. I think they are given another chance. But of course, if you are the Queen of Pentacles, you have free will. You get to choose, right? But this is someone who I think has actually done the work and is very focused on how can we get to that happy relationship. I wasn't capable before, but now I am capable of doing that. Now I am like emotionally available, right? Eight of Wands in the reverse and the King of Cups. They keep stressing in this reading that this is someone who has not rushed the experience. They took their time to make sure that they did this right, and they're coming through at the right time. So they haven't left any stone unturned, right? Death in the reverse. Four of Wands in the reverse. The Four of Swords and Ace of Cups. So they have let go of this non-committal part of themselves, and now they see being in a commitment with you as everything that they want, basically. They're going to probably confess their love, to be honest. And I don't think that they would have done that before. Maybe for some of you that was a topic of conversation, but they didn't really know how to act that way. But I think for most of you, this would have been somebody who was a little bit too concerned, or maybe even just like nervous to say how they really felt. We have the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is a direct message to the Queen of Pentacles. Be cautious. You might be tempted to judge this person before you actually hear them out, and you might regret it later on if you don't give them a chance to communicate with it or with you. So leverage your intuition and your discernment. I think it will pick up on the fact that this person is operating with a different energy. But you might be tempted to think that this is somebody who's just like causing trouble, but really they are trying to make things right. Hello, story time. Hello, flower. How we doing? And how are the kittens doing? Any guidance from guides? Feel like in transition. Yeah, I think that's correct. Was I right to let go of my crush? Letter A. So fast. And what's next to heal? I've added that for you. Thank you, flower. And I don't know if I know how to say that. I'm going to try though. Kagaha Bashi? Did I ruin it? I'm sorry if I did, but I'm trying. Oh, that's so sweet, flower. And let me add story times. Thank you, story time. What you think I am and what I really want. Blessings to you as well. Oh, that sounds good, flower. Thank you. What else? Emperor in the reverse. Two of Cups in the reverse. Queen of Swords in the reverse. Okay, you got a hater. If you are this Queen of Pentacles, you have a friend who I think is generally like really trying to like look out, but they are picking up on this old energy. They're like, why would you talk to that person again? And I get it, you know, there are plenty of people who do not change and they come back around with the same energy. And if it's not good enough for you, fine. But you got to be cautious because this is somebody who's not using their intuition. It could be that you have a friend or a family member who has other reasons for wanting you to not be in a relationship. Namely, you know, then there's less time that you have to hang out with me. But we have this Queen of Swords in the reverse is definitely someone in the inner circle. It's somebody that you trust, but they are not giving you the best of advice. They're not actually aware of what this King of Cups has been working on, or they're too quick to judge. So be cautious in that. Let's get a few more. We'll go with the truth is. I hope work is going well for you. I'm going to try to record a little bit outside today. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Yeah, this Queen of Swords in the reverse. Look, I think they really generally do give good advice or they care about you. But this is someone who's judging too quickly and trying to make it seem like this King of Cups is really only interested in physical intimacy. Maybe before that was true, but it isn't now. This is someone who seems to like verifiably love you. This Queen of Swords in the reverse might be a little bit self-absorbed. This is someone who's assuming the worst of the King of Cups. And it's because It's because they want your time or because they think that your person's into them and they're wrong. Your friend has a little bit of healing to do. This is someone who is putting their needs first when they give advice to you about romance. And that's kind of, that's not good. I don't want you to get back with that person, or I don't want you to give them the time of day, because then maybe you'll cancel our girls trip, or then maybe you won't go on the golf trip, like whatever it is, they're like, don't do that. But I don't think it's somebody like out here full on trying to hit on your King of Cups. But I do feel like this is somebody who's competing with them in a way because they feel entitled to your time. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? This is the Prisma Visions, and after this, we will start on those personal questions, okay? What else do we have, please? Five of Wands. Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is someone who's like willfully ignoring the information about this King of Cups and the fact that they have changed. You might have a friend who's literally in love with you themselves, or this is just a matter of like, when you're in a relationship, I don't get as much time, and that's not cool. Like, who's going to go to the club with me, right? They're ignoring the fact that this King of Cups has actually done the work. Knight of Swords in the reverse. Seven of Chalices. So they're buying into an illusion, or they're trying to convince the Queen of Pentacles that they should keep it moving. And with the Three of Wands, this is saying give it an actual chance. Don't take action to, block or punt this King of Cups just because this Queen of Swords in the reverse is saying something negative about them. Because I think your intuition is telling you, I don't think that's right. I think there is a different reason why they're saying what they're saying. The Moon in the reverse, the Tower, and the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I see you giving this person another chance because you can tell that they have actually dealt with their issues, that they were serious about it. But it also then makes it clear to you that you have a friend who might need to do some work on their own because they have been effectively trying to block you from this relationship for like their own reasons. They think about themselves a little bit too much. All right, let's move on to those personal questions. We're going to go with the Santa Muerte. And Priyanka, I hope I did not offend you. I'm nervous. But let's see what we've got with your question here. What are Rakul's current feelings towards Priyanka? Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. With, the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Wands in the reverse. So we have someone who is concerned about how much to invest. What should I do as far as like how much time, or how serious is this? Are you still talking to anybody else? Because this is somebody who's afraid that they're going to lose you. So I do feel like Rahul is wondering if you're talking to anybody else, and if you're serious about wanting to be in a relationship, or if you're like super independent. We have this Five of Wands in the reverse. Rahul wants to know that there's nobody else. Rahul wants to know that you're only talking to Rahul. Page of Swords and the Empress, but feels like you're a little bit coy, or you don't share that information. So I think if you want things to move forward, You're going to need to have a conversation about who else you're talking to or if you are focused on Rahu. And what about intentions? King of Wands, Ace of Swords. This is someone who's been very honest with you about their intentions. I think this is someone who has passion and interest in you, but is waiting to make a decision on things going to the next level because I need to know where you stand. I need to know what you got going on. I need to know if you're going to like drop me like a hot potato and choose somebody else. So this is like, I'm ready. I want to choose you, but I need to know that you're going to choose me or that you have chosen me. I need to know that you're not distracted by anybody else. So I feel like once you have that conversation and once you are able to say, I really just want to be with you, I know that I want to know you better, this opens things up to that next level. But until there is this conversation that puts his fear at rest or to rest, there is this kind of like random tension in there, right? Hello, Matthew. How are you doing? Yes, I do remember that now. Thank you, Dips. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing? I do love San Antonio. I got a brother down that way. Matthew, let me add that for you. Is my girlfriend's motive to be difficult? Or just come across that way? I've added that. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. All right, let's start with the Soul Cat Tarot for Flower. And Priyanka, I'm wishing you luck. It sure seems like you've got a good one here who's really interested in you. What guidance does Flower need to hear from her guides, please? What does Flower need to hear from her spirit guides, please? Six of Swords, things are getting easier. Ace of Pentacles, there is blessings or a new opportunity coming your way. Five of Cups in the reverse. Do not stress over whether or not you've made the right choice. You have. Page of Swords in the reverse and the Three of Wands in the reverse. There's also something that is unspoken that needs to be said or needs to be discussed. So it could be a boundary, it could be forgiveness, but there's something that needs to happen, something that you need to say that has not been said. Tell me more, please. Yeah. So basically, don't worry about the things that you've already done. You're in a good situation. You're moving into a better, like a happier chapter in your life. But there is something, it looks like a confession, or it looks like maybe even standing up to somebody who is a little bit unreasonable. You need to be honest about something. And you might not have any reason to believe that speaking up on this situation is going to change the situation, but it's important for you to have said it. Was Flower right to let go of the crush with the name that starts with A? There's not great motives here. You might have surprised this person by letting them go or walking away so quickly. I feel like you feel a little bit guilty. But the reality is, with the moon in the reverse, we do have somebody who was not really being honest about their intentions. I think you made the right choice. I think a younger version of yourself would have struggled to make that choice. But because you need to focus on healing, or because you could tell that this person hasn't really done the healing that they need to, you called it. And that's the right thing for you. Look at, I love it. There's like, is it a baby like hedgehog in there? It's not always easy to make the right call. Sometimes people are going to think you're a little prickly, right? You're a little bit mean, but you picked up on something as far as their energy, right? Uh-oh. Hello, August. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Hello, Pearl. Yes, that is how I don't know, if I did everybody's readings, I would never have any alone time. So if you would like me to pull some cards for you, please attach it to a super chat, or you can donate a membership to somebody else in the group. Yeah, the alignment is really important, right? And you can't really fake that either. And what's next for Flower to heal, please? Nine of Swords, the Wheel. Temperance in the reverse. And the Eight of Swords. You're going to have some sort of frustration or tension that you pick up on, but you can't figure out what it's coming from. You're trying to like use radar, you know, like where's the problem? I feel like you get a little bit restless, and I do think that you dream about this situation. There's something that needs to change, but you're worried about what that would look like. It's like when you quit a job and you're going to go work elsewhere, and you're nervous because you interviewed with this person. You feel like they're going to be a good boss, but what is it actually going to be like when you're there? You know, there's some concern over how things look after a change is made. And the advice here is do not let the fear of, you know, how things will change stop you from making a change that you know you need to. So it's addressing, you know, a little bit of fear, recognizing that change is normal and you are absolutely capable of dealing with it. We have the Five of Swords in the reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like you feel like you have to apologize for making a change that is important for you to make. I'm not going to tell you to just like outright stop apologizing, but you need to be a little bit more forgiving of yourself when you make a change that is right for you, because that's what you're supposed to do. Now, does that mean you're a selfish person and you never consider what other people need? No. I feel like you consider your kid all the time. But yeah, don't be so harsh on yourself when you're doing what you need to do. Because there are going to be some people who want you to feel guilty. And that's because they don't want to do the work that they need to do. And that's their loss. So forgiveness for yourself. And sending you a big ol' hug. And I hope that you randomly find some really delicious free cheese. Hello, Praj. How are you doing? Thank you for subscribing. Hello, Sean. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing? So let's see what we've got for dips. So you asked what you think I am. And it's not about what I think, so I'm hoping this is more so towards the spirit guides. That's how I'm going to interpret it. What do spirit guides see dips as being? Like, how do they identify dips? We have the World, Ace of Wands in the reverse, Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Hierophant. A leader. I think I specifically chose this because you are somebody who goes through pivots or changes in your life more readily than others. So when you are hit with some sort of failure or when something is difficult, then you are able to acknowledge what went wrong, and you get right back on the horse, right? You don't let failure stop you, which is a really important attribute and gets you to that next chapter more readily than I think other people. Other people sit and kind of wallow. When something is over, you move on. And that is a really powerful attribute for you. And it is enabling you to get to what you want faster. So, with this Hierophant, you are meant to help others. You are meant to inspire others to make changes instead of wallowing in failure, because that is something that I think rather defines you. So, we have the Fool in the reverse, the Two of Cups, the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and the Devil. You help people eliminate fear. You eliminated your own fear, or you addressed what caused you to be fearful in the past. And now you are able to, through friendship or, conversation, in some cases, romance, you are able to help people get over their fear of failure and do what they need to do. So you free people, which is a pretty big deal. And what is it that Dips really wants? Queen of Swords, the Empress, and the Knave or Page of Wands. This feels to me like what you really want is to inspire people to be more observant and communicative and honest. So notice the similarities between the Empress and the Hierophant card. We have this ability to inspire and get people to think about things in a different way. So, with this Page of Wands, you enable people to find the good news that is meant for them by letting go of that fear. And I think you want to be that inspiration. We have the Six of Cups in the reverse. I think what you want is to not get stuck, to not stay in old behavior. Six of Cups in the reverse. I think you are more adaptable than most, but I think you also recognize that certain surroundings or social circles can get a bit stagnant. So, Seven of Swords in the reverse, I feel like you prioritize truth in all things. And it's contagious. You get other people to feel the same way. I'm glad to hear that, Melissa. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. And let's see what we've got for Matthew. Thank you, Dips. We've got, which one do we want? We'll go with the Noisy Tarot. Is my girlfriend's motive to be difficult? Is Matthew's girlfriend's motive to be difficult? Yes. There is an unhealed, it's like a grudge, frustration. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. This comes through as projection. So I get frustrated, or I feel like somebody doesn't treat me the way I deserve to be treated. So I turn around and who is there? Okay, well, now I'm going to take my frustration out on you. This is someone who does not differentiate the energy that caused the frustration and where they should be dealing with it. So honestly, I think that therapy would be good because we have this Four of Swords in the reverse telling me that there is someone that your girlfriend really needs to forgive. It could be you are being blamed for the baggage that your girlfriend has taken from the previous relationship or even from childhood. Hey, Joseph, you want to watch how you're talking? That seems pretty disrespectful, okay? I'm doing a personal reading and it wasn't for you. So I'm not sure why you're jumping in like that. Or if you're talking to someone in the live chat or me, but it's going to be like you get blocked from the live chat if that's how you talk to people, okay? And hello, Michael. How are you doing? Hey, Tanya, if you would like me to do a question for you, you can attach it to a super chat. And what else do we have regarding Matthew's girlfriend, please? So we have the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Wands in the reverse, and the Seven of Cups, which is basically, I know who actually did the, disservice to me or upset me, but I'm going to choose someone else to actually be angry with. So let me just ask, how does Matthew's girlfriend view Matthew? World in the reverse, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't like this, but I'm going to say it. This is someone who feels like you would never break up with them. That maybe you care too deeply to see this person get hurt, and yet they hurt you. So with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like, I don't feel like I'm ever going to lose anything. So if I feel like treating you like a punching bag, then I will. And you don't deserve that, Matthew. These are issues that need to be dealt with other people, but she takes them out on you. So with the Hermit in the reverse, I feel like there is perhaps a little bit of willingness to ignore that on your side, and she's picking up on that, feeling like I can continue to treat you this way because you don't do anything about it. So I feel like the advice here is there needs to be a conversation, and you need to not go back on what you say. There needs to be some change in her behavior towards you, or you are better off on your own. Lovers in the reverse. Maybe she doesn't get chosen by you if this is how she chooses to treat you, because you deserve better than that. Is there interest on her part to manage this or work on it? No. I think she has to lose you before she realizes she needs to change her attitude. I'm sorry if that's harsh. I think because she feels like you will not leave, that she doesn't have to do anything to change, that she can just be mean to you, and you don't deserve that. And I'm sending you a big ol' hug, Matthew. I hope that you find a resolution, and I hope that, you get treated the way you deserve with respect. So let me add Jazzy. Thank you for the tip. Let me add that to the list. What's coming in for love? Past, new, or both? And you'll be up next. Thank you, Jazzy. Hello, Lee. How you doing? For the weekend? I will add that for you. Thank you, Lee. Positive. Excellent. I like to hear that. All right. So let's dive in with Jazzy's questions. And if you all can send some healing energy towards Matthew, I would really appreciate that. Oh, no problem, Matthew. And thank you, Tanya. I've got your name written down. Let me know. Okay. I'll just pull a yes or no. In fact, I have the perfect oracle deck for that. Okay, so let's move on to Jazzy. What's coming for Jazzy in love? What is coming up next for Jazzy in love? Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Page of Cups in the reverse. Nine of Swords. Nine of Wands. And the Four of Cups. I don't like it. This is like rejection and frustration. Somebody who leads you on. and makes you feel like you wasted your time on them. So it feels like this is a little bit of a warning that you should listen to your intuition when you encounter somebody romantically, because I feel like your initial reaction is to put the guard up. I feel like your initial reaction is like, ew, get away from me. But then there's something charming said, or there's something, like, oh, let me buy your dinner. I don't know. Don't don't buy into this love bombing. Whatever they do to be nice to kind of like disarm your intuition, it's not worth it. I think you pick up on the fact that they aren't healed right away, but then they do some sort of um, flashy move to get you to give them a chance. Don't give them a chance. Listen to your initial gut reaction to this person, because they are secretive and they do not share their emotions, or they're not honest, right? So they end up having this ability to kind of influence people's decisions, and you may end up making the wrong decision to give them a chance because of like the riz, because of the charm, right? Is this a new person or a past person? Past? No, this is a new person, but they do remind you of someone from your past. I think that's part of the problem. So a new person flirts with you, and there's something about them that is drawing you to them, and I think it takes you a minute to realize it's because they remind you of someone from your past. And you're like, oh, maybe this is like a better option. Nope, this is somebody who is unhealed, and they have no intentions of doing right by you. They're just, saying what they think you want to hear. Is there anyone else coming towards Jazzy in love? In the near future, no, because apparently this is a test that you need to get through. You need to reject this person in order to show the universe and your spirit guides that you're not going to get stuck in the same type of relationship, or that you are actually over this person from your past. So you're in the Five of Cups, perhaps unknowingly. The Five of Cups is a card that looks in the past when they should be focusing on the future. Generally speaking, you have 3 cups that are usually overturned, and then somebody is ignoring the 2 cups behind them. The universe is basically sending you this not great person in order to make sure that you're done with it. Let's see what your actual discernment is in this matter, even if they remind you of the one that got away or the person that you want to come back around. You have to be able to show you're not going to fall for that anymore. And then that levels you up. But until then, it's like you keep getting this same energy. Hello, Ghost of Third Eye. How are you doing? Let's see what we've got for Lee. This is the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. What do we have for Lee over the weekend? And happy Mother's Day. What do we have for Lee coming up over the weekend, please? Nine of Swords. 10 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. I see stress and anxiety regarding family situation, perhaps plans or conversations with the ex. But with the 3 of Swords, this is saying, and we have that 5 of Cups, this is saying, let whatever is frustrating, like you have to deal with that. You can't just like slide it under the rug, right? But this is saying, make sure you still have time, even if you have to remove yourself from everybody else and go have fun on your own. Make sure that you make room for some happiness this weekend, even if it's just like some retail therapy, right? Or you doing your own thing. I feel like there's one person this weekend who really shows up for you. One person who helps you stay smiling and sane. But it requires you basically saying, okay, well, if you're going to act that way, then I think I'm just going to go out, or I think I'm going to leave. Let's wrap this lunch up. I think I'm done. There's something here where you have to basically prioritize spending time with the person who makes you feel the way that you deserve to feel, which is respected and loved. And the other people, if they're not going to do that, then get out. And what about these dreams? Why are there dreams with regards to the, was it specifically the, yeah, about the surgery? Because this is going to be a big change for you. I see you being very happy with the outcome, by the way. You're just, I think, processing fears and also the excitement, which is totally normal. But I think there's going to be some really great outcome here. I'm trying to like not get too specific, but I feel like you're going to be very pleased with the results. I feel like you're dealing with somebody who knows what they're doing. And I feel like you've also been able to like deal with the naysayers, either not telling people what you're actually going in for, or if somebody feels like they should judge you for this, like, that's your opinion, whatever. But I feel like your mindset is in a really good place. I do feel like this is partly because of the changes that you've made regarding your health. So this has put you in a better place. I feel like you're going to like feel like $1,000,000. But of course, this is something that is on your mind, so you're going to end up dreaming about it, right? Yeah, that makes sense, Lee. And if that's the case, then it's just kind of like, stick it over here or whatever. Let that person whine, let them cry, whatever. But it's not because of you. You don't owe this person an apology. You don't need to like babysit them. Go do something fun. I hope that helps. And I will be keeping you in my prayers, Lee. Let's see what we've got for Tanya and Dips. Dips, let me know if you have another question or if you're being particularly generous. Either way, I appreciate it. Yes, I agree, Melissa. So for Tanya, is it a, oh yeah, that's right, we're going to use the Magic 8 Ball. Is it a yes or a no for Tanya, please? Is it a yes or a no for Tanya's question? Now, the question that Tanya is thinking, is it a yes or a no? No. And this might be kind of going against your intuition because I swear I saw a yes card flipped over, but then we get in no way or no. There is a maybe, so it's like you think maybe. No, it's a no. All right, I can't find the one that slipped over. I will later. And let's see what we've got. Dips, do we have a question? Love life? We can dip into that. Let's go with the cats rule the earth. Hello, Vaccinator. How are you doing? I'm so excited for you, Lee. Thank you. Happy Friday, Vaccinator. What do we have for Dips, please, regarding love life? So you've placed a lot of prioritization or importance on working on yourself. And when you do that, it shrinks the dating pool, right? Because there's plenty of people who are not working on themselves or who do not prioritize that kind of thing. So the reason that things have been difficult is because you are, swimming in a dating pool full of people who don't think that change is necessary. People who are like, what do you mean? I'm great like I am. What? I don't need to change. I'm great. We all could benefit from a little bit of introspection, right? So there's too many people around you that are just like not great with emotional intimacy or managing those issues. Oh, you're so welcome, Tanya. So with the Eight of Pentacles, I see you having basically worked on yourself and focusing perhaps on that career, right? But the issue is the people who will align with you romantically are not, you know, a dime a dozen. They're difficult to find, more like needle in a haystack, right? Will it happen for you? Yes. 10 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and we also have the 8 of Cups. This tells me that you have to walk away from a location. It's not always that way, but I see you having done a lot of emotional work on yourself. So it's not, I don't pick up on the 8 of Cups being tied to something like a behavior that you have to change. I'm seeing that the location you're in is hampering your efforts. We have the Emperor in the reverse. And the Moon. I feel like one random night you get this urge to buy a plane ticket or I don't know, maybe you're going on a train. But I feel like you get this desire to travel somewhere. And it may be somewhere you actually see yourself potentially living. But it's when you get out of that particular location that you find somebody that is on your level. Currently, you're surrounded by people who are wearing masks. Currently, you're dealing with a lot of people that blame others for their problems instead of looking at what they have control over, right? Thank you, Flower. For fun, any love prediction? I love that. Oh, I'm so glad, Tanya. So, Dips, I feel like this is a location issue. You travel or you might even move elsewhere and then you find somebody that is on that level, has worked on themselves. So what can we tell Dips about this person, this love interest? Oh, stop. Be still, my heart. It's your soulmate. This is someone that you would find like no one else compares to this person. I do think this is somebody who is going through like a transformation right now. I think they might even be moving, to be honest. But we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse and the Ace of Swords. This person that you are eventually going to fall in love with and meet, this is somebody who has had to remove themselves from a group of people that are very selfish. Could be family, could be a group of friends. But they're realizing the truth about where they've been or who they've been surrounded by. So they're implementing some boundaries. So I do feel like this is going to be someone who's a little bit of a lone wolf, or they have, you know, like two people that they're really close to. But you're going to meet this person when you leave or when you vacation, right? Elsewhere. All right, let's see what we have for Flower. Which one do we want? We'll go with since your name is Flower, we'll go with the one that has petals for Pentacles. What do we have for love predictions for Flower in 2026 for the rest of 2026, please? Nine of Jars or Nine of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Crystals or the Queen of Swords, and the Four of Crystals. The first half of this year is all about you putting up boundaries and being discerning, knowing this isn't what I want, that's not what I need. And your healing is like you get an A+. You are watering that garden, right? You're getting to a better spot. You have so much to offer. But this first half of the year, it was important for that to be a focus, right? So I see you meeting somebody who makes you nervous. I think initially you feel it's too good to be true. I think you meet this person perhaps around September. Could be earlier than that. I would say no earlier than August. But this is someone who could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. They're very capable, and you are worried that they're just like a smooth talker with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. But we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is actually like who you are like destined to meet. The Lovers, soulmate energy. Oh, I like that. And then we have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Confirmation on the fire energy, and also this is somebody who appreciates their masculine and feminine side, which means they know how to be bold, they know how to take action, they know how to like walk away from things, but they also know, well, they could be a little bit passionate too. They also know how to, you know, manifest what they want. This is somebody who offers stability in a relationship. I love it. I do feel like they might be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, so that could help you kind of identify, right? Hello, Amal. How are you doing? All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping the video if you're able to. And I will see you on I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.